Hi folks, welcome to my 8-Bit Retro Journal. Today I'm going to talk about broadcasting my QL's video signal onto a television set. Something that I kind of found online and intrigued me, and had all the appropriate tools that I needed to do that, so I thought, oh, let's give it a try. So I'll start out with, if you look at this device here, this is something that I've had. Again, I like to just get all sorts of little gadgets. I don't always use them all, but this is one of those. It's generally for a car or anything. I mean, you could use it also just if you had a boom box. But so this is a device that you plug into the side of it, your audio in, and it has a tuner and bands that you can tune into. It's interesting. It can't power it, so it's not made directly for a car. You power it with a AA battery. I also saw this the other day. I'm not sure what this is for, but this comes out. There's actually nothing there, so I don't know if that was eventually made to have a plug or something in there. So you could plug it into your outlet of your car. But yeah, so this is a radio transmitter. This transmits onto an FM. It says wireless CD player adapter. So this is before cars had built-in CDs. You could use this to play your CD on your radio in your car, without having to use one of those cassette adapters if you didn't have that. So that sort of is a radio broadcaster, and on the web, online I was seeing that someone actually said you could do that. The same thing with the video signal, and so I have one of these that I bought a while back. And so what this is it's an antenna booster. So what this does is it boosts your. So if you look at this, the antenna goes in here, and then this goes into the TV. And it takes in a 5-volt. It's actually a USB plug, so it's about 2.5 watts of amplification of the antenna signal, so that you get a better picture. I tried it, and it really didn't work all that well. And I kind of just threw this in a drawer, saying, I bought this on eBay for a few bucks, and it didn't really improve my over-the-air television experience. Now, again, in the U.S., we have used NTSC, and we have lots of free over-the-air TV, and I'm a big believer in that, and I watch it. You can see in the background right now, there's WGPH Kids show on. One of the few I can get on that TV with, and if you actually look, you can see that I have rabbit ears. I usually have them not extended. They're usually all the way down, so you can't see it. But so this was supposed to help the TV reception, and it didn't. So I kind of just threw it in the drawer. But it turns out that what you can do is, instead of having this go to the antenna and then this going to the device, you can flip it around. You can have this going to the antenna and this going to the device, right? So instead of boosting the antenna signal, you can actually boost the device's signal to an antenna, and thus create a 2.5 watt broadcasting. That's what I'm going to do today. Sounds kind of cool. Why not try? So, in addition to that, I have this little antenna that came from an old. It's not old. I still use it. I have a USB. In fact, it's that that thing right there that I use for my composite input on my QL is actually also a TV, a digital TV tuner card, and that came with this little antenna, so that you can get digital signals. In any case, I'm going to use that, and it has a magnetic base. So what I've learned to do is that if I use a pair of scissors, can't see them, sorry. If I use a pair of scissors, I can actually put the base Gives me a little tripod so it stands on. Isn't that neat? And I can move this up, and there I have an antenna. And so then if I plug this into the antenna part, instead of boosting it as a receiver, I'm actually going to boost this as a transmitter. All right, so that's my, sorry, wrong side. So this is going to go into this side. So this is going to go into the TV side, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to boost my. I need a little bridge plug, which I have here. So right, so I'm going to turn this into here, and then this is going to go into the. So I'm putting the antenna into the TV side. It's a little confusing, kind of backwards, because I'm creating a TV transmitter. Yep. Okay. So now I have the antenna side is going to actually go into the QL. So what I need here is I have just a nice short little cable, and it's female on both sides. I don't know if you can clearly see that. And so I'm going to screw that into here. And then I need one more piece of technology or tool or gadget, which is I've got this. Sorry, focus is always an issue here. So this takes a coaxial and gives you an RCA. So that's going to go right in here. And so here's my contraption. This is going to go into the QL. So the QL has 3 video outputs. It's got RGB. It's got really 4. It's got RGB. It gives you nice color. I don't have an adapter for it yet. Actually, what I need is a box that takes SCART, which I have the cable. I just need a SCART adapter to HDMI, which I don't have yet. It gives you composite color, which I've shown you. It gives you composite monochrome, which is a really nice picture, which I've shown you. But it also gives you an RF signal on channels 3 or 4 in the US, NTSC. And so I'm going to plug this in and broadcast on channel 3. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to go around the camera. And I'm going to see if I can do this. So this is going to go right here and plug into it's right here. Yep. It's going to plug into right here. And there we go. So that's plugged in. So now I'm just going to turn on the computer. Okay, that turns on the computer. So now I've got it broadcasting on channel 3. So let's see if I can get channel 3. There's channel 3. And let's see if we can't get a signal. I should probably boot this up. And let's see if we can. Oh, not yet. I'm missing one element. Is I need to actually power it. So I have a USB. So this is going to plug into. So I'm not boosting the signal yet. So plug that into here. And this is going to plug into. I have a little USB thing over here. It's going to plug into here. All right, now I'm powering it up, and we have a signal. It's not a great signal. So if I put my hand in there, you can kind of see that you get the. So if I reboot the QL. You can kind of see the splash screen. It's not very good. So this suggests I need a bigger antenna, which I don't have. And let's actually boot it up. And all right, that gives me a picture. It's not a very good picture. Again, it's only 2.5 watts. Now, one thing with the QL, especially around the micro drives, is there's lots of interference in this area. Even though the American QLs are shielded, what I'm going to try next is I'm going to try, I have this cable, and what I'm going to try is I'm going to try to, if you look at the antenna wire, it's very thin. So I'm going to try to route the majority of the antenna wire away from the QL with this much better shielded cable, in the hopes that I will get a better picture. So let me try that. I'm going to have to unscrew this. The picture's going to go away. And then this luckily doesn't screw in, it just does that. I'm going to route this over the printer. And then I'm going to plug this into here. Can't see me, I'm off camera, but I'm just screwing in this cable. Here we are. Look at that. That is a fantastic picture. So here we have, I mean, it has lots of interference in there, but man, that is actually a pretty decent picture. Look at that. So that is literally being transmitted about 2 feet away from, if I were to bring the antenna, yeah, so in fact I have a measuring stick here. And how far are we away? So we're 2 feet away. 2 feet, we get pretty decent, a pretty decent picture. What about? So I have a metal chair here. If I were to demonstrate this, I've got this metal chair here, and I can actually move the antenna. Interesting enough, on the chair. I need to actually get it past the camera, so let me do that. Yeah. So I can place it on the chair. And so now, let's look at the picture. It's still pretty good. And how far are we away from it now? So we are, that's 4 feet away. So at 4 feet, we still get a pretty decent picture. And just to make sure that everything's actually working, yeah, it's working. So that's 4 feet away. Let's move the chair further back. Oops, the antenna just fell. So that's about 5 feet away. I'm running out of cable, unfortunately. What you're hearing is the antenna is... Okay, so this is about 6 feet away, I would imagine. Yeah, so this is 6 feet away. And you're still getting a picture with lots of interference, but yeah, basically broadcasting a TV signal over the air. Now again, if I bring it closer, we get a much nicer picture. Again, the antenna is back to where it was, 2 feet away. But yeah, so able to broadcast a signal on the TV that is actually, and again, if I, just to demonstrate, if I go, and I don't have too many channels on here, but this gets TV. These are all digital. Well, here's the QL signal being thrown in on the what it does is sometimes it auto-tunes, and so now it's not finding it. interesting. Hey, it's back. Right, and so it gets the signal over the air. So that's obviously an analog signal. That's pretty cool. I do have one other thing to demonstrate, which is I've got an old analog portable TV, and so if I turn this on, and I turn this on, I open the antenna up. You can see that is going to find so it's searching, it's trying to tune in for the signal now. Hold on, I might not have it on the so it's on, oh, I have it on UHF, that's why. Okay, so it's now, I've got it on searching on the VHF band, and there it is. It actually is getting the same picture. It's unfortunately there's no scroll. There's no scroll. Oh yeah, so you can see it best. So I'm trying to not have the glare. Yeah, it's hard. It's a shiny screen, unfortunately. Oops. There you go, you can kind of see it. Let's see if I can focus in on that instead. There we go. So you can see that it's on this TV. Now what's interesting is I tried this already before today, and I can actually go anywhere in my place up to 25 feet away, and this picture actually doesn't change. So it's interesting that at 25, now again, this is cheap enough to, it doesn't have any vertical control, unfortunately, but at 25, and it does show you green at times, but at 25 feet away, this little LCD analog TV actually lets you, it doesn't have a vertical control, no. It'll actually catch the signal in the house. So this, so this transmitter at 2.5 watts, because the way I'm calculating that, oh, I just lost something. I don't know if it was, there was some loose connection on this wire here, I think. Yeah, there we go. And there's lots of interference that's coming from interfering with the signal. And one of the things I think is the fact that this device itself has a very thin wire here. I think this is the cable that's causing the thing to come in and out, because if I bent this cable, I get it really nice. So I probably have to create a better little bridge cable here. I don't believe it's not. So if I press on the, well, unfortunately, there's no way to, you know, if I bent this cable here, so it's not the QL that's doing it. I think it's this cable right here. So if I yeah, so there's some loose connection in there that's not quite doing what it's supposed to. But if I improve this cable here, I was trying to get this back into a state where, yeah. So if I improve this cable, I think to where I get rid of this very thin, I think I could get a much better picture. And at 2.5 watts, you know, it's not quite clean enough to make it useful, but still pretty interesting that you can actually transmit the signal. And it's not just for the QL. Any old computer that has a pretty decent RF out, you can do that with. And so anyway, I just wanted to share that with folks today. It's kind of interesting. So what I'll do in the future is I have a couple of these. I might take it apart to see what's inside of it, see if you can potentially boost the power by maybe doing 12 volts or 9 volts to see if you can get if it can take that and if it can because the more power you add, the better the signal is going to be. Have to be careful because FCC guidelines is you don't want to interfere with other folks. But I have enough, there's enough distance between me and the next person where I live to where I don't think I'll interfere with them. But then also shield this a little better so that it doesn't have this thin cable. I bet that I can get a much better picture, and it's a pretty cheap device you can buy online. You can find these on eBay. They're just signal enhancers for, and they come with certain digital antennas. And I bought one. I bought a couple, and they're like $2 or $3 on eBay. That you can, play around and see if you have old gear, if you can get a better picture than what you have. So so that I don't keep fighting this. I'm going to call it, leave it on a good picture. So I'm going to call it a wrap, but just an interesting little tidbit, fun you can have with old 8-bit retro equipment or 80s retro equipment. And I keep saying 8-bit, the QL does have a 32-bit processor with a 16-bit address bus, but it does have an 8-bit data bus, and so it is sort of that bridge between 8-bit computing and 16. A lot of the 32-bit machines, like the Amiga and the Atari were called 16-bit because they weren't fully 32-bit. The only thing that was 32-bit was the registers, which is the QL also has 32-bit registers. So it's a 16-bit to 8-bit bridge computer, but any retro machines that had RF output, whether it's in the US or in Europe, you can turn this into an antenna by doing that. So I thought that was kind of a neat little thing to do. So anyway, thanks for joining me today. And one other note, this is being filmed a couple of days after the QL celebrated its birthday, which was January 12th. That's when it was announced in 1984. So happy birthday to the QL. So thanks for joining me, and stay safe.